Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Tech Beans, and this is the OPPO A7, and from the model name itself, this is part of OPPO's entry-level lineup, the A series. And at a glance, I would describe it as a combination of the highly popular OPPO F9 and its super hot selling OPPO A3s, but actually more of the A3s side rather than the OPPO F9. By the way, this is the OPPO F9 Jade Green. Look at that, such a beautiful color. It has the color of the sky, the sea, and pretty much all of nature. Get yours now at your nearest OPPO concept store. Now the only thing that the A7 borrowed from the OPPO F9 was the water drop notch display right here. Everything else is the OPPO A3s. The processor, the battery, the design, pretty much everything. The OPPO A3s was one of OPPO's best-selling smartphones last year. But the thing about the A3s is that it only came out with 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigabytes of internal storage, which was a little bit too small for most users. And that is why they released a bigger 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes ROM, but still it was too small for most power users. And that is why the A7 exists, because this, my friends, has 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and of course a better back design. But other than that, is it actually worth taking a look at? Well, that is what I'm here for. Let us find out. And without further ado, let the unboxing begin.
No.
The color I have here is the glaring gold. Let me just open the box right now. Okay, standard packaging right here from OPPO. Here's the phone itself. Let me just pull it out. And let me just slip this off. And here is the A7. Look at that glaring gold back. Wow. I have to say, this is kind of beautiful. Something that the A3s does not have. The A3s has a very simple back. This is just so much better. And it looks even more stunning when light touches the surface. Now the only downside is that it's made out of plastic and it doesn't feel as premium as glass back phones. And yes, because it has a glossy back, you get all those fingerprints and smudges. But it's only glossy at the back. At the side it's all matte, but it's still made out of plastic. The back does have a little bit of friction right here, so don't worry, this will not fall off your hand anytime soon. It's thick, but just the right thick. It's actually as thick as the OPPO F9. Okay, let me just set this aside for now. I'm gonna show you what else is in the box. Oh, I forgot about the mini box right here. Inside the mini box, we have the jelly case and the documentation. That's pretty much it. Cardboard, a standard OPPO 10-watt charger, and yes, micro USB cable. Yes, my friends, the OPPO A7 only has micro USB, as you can see right there. And apart from that, it has a headphone jack and a single speaker grill. On the right side, it's only the power button, and on the left side, we have the volume rockers. And the SIM tray, which has 2 dual nano SIM card slots and a single SD card slot for expandable memory. And at the back, you have the dual cameras, the LED flash, and the fingerprint scanner. And of course, the OPPO branding. It's time to open the beast. OPPO, selfie expert. And yep, look at that. It definitely looks like the OPPO F9 display. The water drop notch, the huge bezel down here. Let me just pull here the OPPO F9 for comparison purposes, but from what I'm seeing right here, the OPPO F9 does have a smaller bezel, same at the top. But of course, the OPPO F9 does have a 1080p Full HD Plus display, while the A7 only has a 720p HD display. Yes, the same one as the OPPO A3s, which is still a good thing, because the display is vibrant, the colors are good. It is an IPS display, my friends. By the way, guys, this is running on ColorOS 5.2, so it's got all of these tricks right here. Quick access apps, Facebook, camera, much like the OPPO F9. Now, I kind of tried out the fingerprint scanner on this and it's very, very fast. Take a good look at this, guys. Look how responsive this thing is and the accuracy. Oh my god. And look at that, the face unlock is just so fast as well, just as fast as the fingerprint scanner. Look, it works with my glasses on. It's unlocking. And look at that, it's even working with my shades on. By the way, this is called the Tech Beans Thug Life Glasses version 1.0. It's got a nice pixelated design, very sharp edges, and it only costs $4.99. If you want to order one, just reach out to me in the comments below. We'll talk about it. Also, you can reach out to me on my Facebook page for faster transactions. Sorry about that. Now going back to the A7, like I told you, the A7 pretty much has the same specs as the A3s, with the exception of the RAM and the ROM. It is powered by a Snapdragon 450 processor, has a 4230 mAh battery, has the same dual camera setup. Yep. But hey, the A7 does come out with Hyper Boost out of the box. It's a new feature that significantly boosts the performance of the A7. And yes, yes, it definitely does help with the overall experience, as everything did feel very smooth. Browsing the web, doing social media, watching videos, and of course, playing the latest and greatest games. Take a good look at this, guys. It's able to play NBA 2K19 with very little lag. I was actually surprised with this, as I wasn't expecting the processor to handle this beast of a game, but it looks like the Hyper Boost upgrade was kicking in and doing its magic. It's also able to play Ragnarok Mobile. While it does lag in some areas, especially where there's too much activity going on in the screen, usually when there's big structures, a lot of characters, a lot of spells being casted at the same time, but still, this is something remarkable that's coming from just the Snapdragon 450 processor. And of course, how can I forget the game that everyone is going crazy for, PUBG. Now, since it's using an entry-level processor, the game only let me choose balanced and medium frame rates as the max setting, which is a bummer, but as soon as I started playing the game, it played like the usual. It just didn't have the advanced lighting effects and better textures from higher settings, but still very much a highly playable game. It did feel kind of slow in some parts, like when I was dropping off in midair, but overall, the game is fine with the A7. And of course, I was also testing out the battery life on this thing. Playing PUBG for 1 hour resulted into having a whooping 88% battery life, which means it only scratched 12% after all that playing, which is expected since it has a huge battery. I also did test out the charging speed, and while it did come with a 10-watt charger, it kind of charged up really slow, less than 50% in 1 hour, and took about 3 hours and 22 minutes to fully charge it. Now, coming to the cameras are the same as the A3s, at least for the rear cameras, that is, sporting a 13 megapixel primary sensor and a 2 megapixel bokeh sensor. The selfie camera is, however, much better, coming in with 16 megapixels as opposed to the A3s's 8 megapixel selfie shooter. The photos are pretty good. It doesn't have the OPPO F9-like dynamic range, but it gets the job done. I like the colors. They are certainly perfect for social media consumption. The selfies are also good. I like how my face looks on OPPO phones. It's small, smooth, and light-skinned. Yes, you can also seize the night with the A7, as I got really nice photos from it in low light. Although you do need to be very still when capturing photos, as the A7 does not have OIS. Just something to keep in mind, but overall the image quality is pretty decent. The OPPO A7 is a good buy if you were considering on buying an OPPO A3s, but needed the extra storage and spec bump. You're going to be able to install more apps and have better stability compared to its smaller sibling. But for its current price tag, I'm not seeing it as a top contender in its current segment. There are a lot of options available. But yes, if you are an OPPO-centric person, this certainly will not disappoint. Next up, on TechBeans, the big one, 48 megapixel monster from the newly established sub-brand, the Redmi Note 7. Catch me unbox it and review it in great detail, plus comparisons, of course. Guys, just subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss it. It is going to be epic. This is Vince Domingo from TechBeans, and I'll see you on the next video.